In this video, we're going to be showcasing and building the #1 team in Madden 23 Ultimate Team, which is easily going to be a 99 overall. Now, so family, and welcome back to another Madden 23 video. Hope you watching this are having a wonderful start to your weekend, and without further ado, let's get started. Now, in order to complete this video successfully, I'm going to be pulling up the Madden Ultimate Team lineup builder over on MUT.gg because I feel like this is kind of a fun and easy way to test out team builds, and in this video, like I said before, I'm going to be slotting in the best player at every single position based on my personal opinion. And by doing this, well, A, you'll be able to see some of my favorite cards at every single position, and B, I think this will be a kinda cool video where we can go through and just take a look at what the best possible team is in this game, because obviously for me personally, I don't have the best team possible. For a lot of you guys watching this video, you probably don't either, but in this one, we're gonna go through and figure out the best team in this game regardless of budget. Budget does not matter. We'll figure out how much this team costs at the end as well, but let's get started. All right, now starting it off at the quarterback position, I think my quarterback of choice is a pretty simple decision, and that's going to be Aaron Rodgers. This gold 99 Aaron Rodgers is 100% my favorite quarterback in Madden 23. We'll slot him in right here. He's got the best abilities in this game by a mile and the best release. Then for running back, this is one that might surprise you guys a little bit right here, but instead of taking one of these gold 99s in this game, I'm taking Cordero Patterson. If you guys didn't know, Cordero Patterson has the best X Factor, or one of the best X Factors in Madden 23, allowing him to break a ton of tackles. He's going to break the first tackle every time. We'll take CDP. Then moving on to our wide receiver #1 slot right here. This one isn't even too much of a decision. We gotta go with Randy Moss. In my opinion, one of the best cards in all the Madden Ultimate Team. Randy Moss is slotting in. Then at wide receiver #2 right here, I'm putting in Calvin Johnson, fellas. If you guys didn't know, Calvin Johnson, of course, has this field pass player who can be upgraded all the way up to a 99. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna upgrade this Calvin Johnson to a 99. We'll go back to lineup, and that's who we're gonna be slotting in at wide receiver 2. A free player who everyone can get on their team, and I would suggest he is one of the best cards in this game. Then at wide receiver 3, this is kind of a difficult decision right here, but the player I'm going to pick is actually CeeDee Lamb. In my opinion, this CeeDee Lamb card is one of the best wide receivers in Madden. Getting him as a wide receiver 3 is a great slot for him as well. He's got 98 speed, he gets incredible abilities, and the card just plays really well as well. So CeeDee Lamb, kind of a pick that might surprise some of you guys. We're putting him in at wide receiver #3 right here. Of course, with chemistries, he'll be a 99. Every single player you guys see here is easily up to a 99 with chems. Then for the fullback in the offensive line, we'll go with Kyle Juszczyk right here at fullback. I'll quickly fill in some players on the offensive line. We'll put John Madden in right here, a card that I'm assuming a lot of people will be able to get. And then for some of these other positions, I'm just going to put in best player available. So this Roger Saffold actually has some really good stats. We'll put him in at left guard. We'll put in a center, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys for tight end as well as defense. Okay, so here's how the offensive line is going to look. I think these Team Diamond players actually have really good stats. We've got Evan Neal at right tackle. And then for the tight end position right here, let's talk about who we're going to be picking, fellas. Now, there's a couple options, then they're honestly fairly similar. Tony Gonzalez right here at 96 speed is definitely a good option. Otherwise, scrolling through, if you want a little bit more speed, Darren Waller actually is going to give you 97 right here. And then a card like Vernon Davis actually gives you 98 speed. And in my personal opinion, I'm taking Vernon Davis, man. I'm taking Vernon Davis for that increased speed, man. Like, this card right here is going to be flying around the football field. I can definitely see the argument for Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is a good player, but in terms of who I'd prefer, I think I'd rather Vernon Davis. So here is how the offense is going to look, fellas. We got Vernon Davis at tight end. We got Aaron Rodgers at QB. We got Cordero Patterson, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and CeeDee Lamb. And in terms of pricing right here, if you guys were curious, this would cost you 7.19 million coins to pick up all these players and build out this offense. Okay, let's move on to the defense. Let's build this thing from the inside out, starting it out with the defensive lineman and the left end position. And my left ended choice is a simple one, fellas. I am taking Furious George right here. If you didn't know, this card gets that built-in X Factor, which is massive, fellas. You are going to want that built-in X Factor on Furious George. Okay, then moving on to the other end position, for the exact same reasoning, I'm going to be taking Gregory Rousseau, aka Groot right here, and slotting him in at right end. As you can see, he actually does play left end in this game, but it's worth putting him at right end and having Furious George on the other end. Both of those cards are very good, and of course, they get that built-in X Factor, which is exactly what you want. That built-in X Factor is basically going to allow them to shed blocks in a much more efficient fashion than a lot of other DTs in this game. Okay, moving on to the defensive tackle spot, we are going to be taking John Madden right here and upgrading him to a 99 overall. If you did not know, this is a free player you can earn as well. And definitely the guy you want at DT. No reason on spending coins. I would recommend you just pick up John Madden. Then in terms of our outside linebackers right here, fellas, we are going to go with the maniac, Shaquille Leonard 3rd, slotting in at the left outside linebacker position right here. He, again, just like those cards I talked about before, Groot as well as Furious George, he gets that built-in X factor. In my opinion, this card is actually better than the other two, so I would honestly recommend you take Shaquille over the other players if you're just getting one of them. But if you can get all three, I would slot in like Furious George at your defensive tackle, put in Groot as one edge rusher and Shaquille as the other edge rusher. That's going to be a nasty combination. That's what I do on my team. Then for right outside linebacker right here, let's pick up a pass rusher, fellas, and the guy that I'm actually going to be going with is kind of a decision between Lawrence Taylor as well as Will Anderson. We'll take Will Anderson though. The guy has a really good stats, and I would say, in my opinion, he's probably one of the best pass rushers in this game, if not the best pass rusher that doesn't have an X factor. Of course, these X factor players just make them so much better, but without X factors, Will Anderson might be the best one. Then for middle linebacker, not necessarily a super important position on the field. We're just going to take the 2 gold 99s. Fred Warner, I will say, is going to be better than Brian Urlacher. So if you're looking for like 1 gold 99 overall linebacker, I would take Fred over Brian. But Fred Warner actually has some pretty solid stats if you want to use him. For me personally, I don't really use middle linebackers on my field, so this position wouldn't matter a ton. Okay, moving on to the cornerback group. This is where the decisions start to get a little bit more difficult. It kind of depends what type of scheme you play in Madden Ultimate Team, because of course, when you're making a selection about a corner, you're usually making that decision whether you play man coverage or zone coverage. But for this video, what I'm going to do is just go best player available in terms of stats and a card that also gets some pretty good abilities. And I think the first guy we got to go with is Night Train Lane. Like, there is no doubt about it. This gold 99 Night Train Lane has 99 speed, just an absolutely crazy card. He's also going to be really versatile when it comes to playing run defense, and I believe he gets really good abilities as well. So Night Train Lane, he's got to be one of the corners. And then next up, getting another guy who's got really nice stats across the board, we are going to go with Charles Woodson right here at the cornerback number 2 spot. Charles Woodson cards have played really well for me in Madden Ultimate Team, especially this year. Like, a couple cards Charles Woodson got earlier in the year just played incredible. So I'm going to take Charles Woodson at cornerback 3. Oh, sorry, I meant to say cornerback 2. For the cornerback 3 right here though, fellas, we are going to be going with Deion Sanders. Now, I feel like Deion Sanders at cornerback 3 is actually an interesting place to put this player, because Deion Sanders, of course, isn't as big as those other guys I talked about, but in my opinion, he actually makes for like a great slot corner in this game. Now, of course, depending on what scheme you run, Deion Sanders might want to be replaced with someone who's a blitzing corner if you like to run DB Fire 2. Obviously, for us right here, we're going best player available. We're assuming all these guys are going to be in coverage and they're going to be playing their natural roles. So like outside corner, and then slot corner. All right, moving on to the free safety as well as strong safety positions right here. These are some relatively difficult decisions. There's definitely quite a few options. Justin Simmons has a pretty nice card. Sean Taylor has a very good card. Just scrolling through this list right here. Eric Berry got a very good card, but in my opinion, the best one of them all has to be Sean Taylor. Like, Sean T was a beast in real life. He gets really good stats as well, gets some solid abilities. 6'2". He can play in regular zone coverage, or if you wanted to bring him in the box and have him be your user, that works as well. So Sean Taylor, really good player. Then for the strong safety, I feel like there's only one option right here. If we are building the best team possible, it's either Cam Chancellor or it's Isaiah Palomlu. But for the sake of the budget right here, I know we said at the start of the video, we're doing no budget, but I'm actually going to take Isaiah Palomlu over Cam Chancellor. Both cards are basically identical, so there's no reason to take Cam and have that 1.9 million coins tacked onto the budget. We'll go with Isaiah Palomlu right here. I know you guys love the way I say his name. And fellas, the moment of truth, how much is this team going to cost? We'll scroll up right here and reveal that number. It is 13.7 million coins, fellas. This is a 99 overall team as well. As you can see, 98s in some positions, but with chemistries, these cards would easily go up to 99s. Easily. Like, I'm telling you, I guarantee you, every single card you see on the screen would become a gold 99 overall. So that's how the team is looking, fellas. This, in my opinion, is the best team in Madden Ultimate Team. If you guys have any like suggestions or changes you would make, let me know. I'm curious. Is there like a position where you're like, nah, Swift, you're wrong, man? I would definitely take someone else at like free safety or maybe a different pass rusher. But yeah, this, in my opinion, is the best team in Madden. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to check out a video where I show how to get John Madden for free, click right on the screen. Of course, if you know that, hey, that's totally fine. But until next time, I'm out. Peace.